the Conservative MP PROC is in the PROC committee, and he's looking into the Trudeau Foundation donations, and he has all kinds of different sources. This may be hitting the news after this, just with the backdrop as all the opposition parties are in a huddle trying to work out how to do an inquiry. We haven't heard anything from any of the party leaders yet. So here's the PROC committee. This happened just Monday today. Check it out.
PMO. Please find below the key facts that we have been providing to the media who have contacted us regarding the 200,000 donation from Bin Zhang and New Ginshing. And you're saying to us, to the committee then, as you're probably going to say to me now, that you were absolutely not aware of that particular piece of communication.
I don't believe that piece of communication was in the package, the access package. Certainly, I was not aware of it at the time that I gave this testimony. I think I said it was possible that there was communication, asking...
Sir, with all due respect, you didn't say it was possible. You said you weren't aware, and that you were shocked that if there were communication, why wasn't it brought to your attention? So I'm asking the obvious question that everyone has here, really, what is going on at the foundation that a person in the title of executive director who has to report directly to you is communicating directly with the PMO? Let's remember, the Prime Minister is on record, as well as his government, numerous times stating in the House that there was a firewall at all times between he and the government and the foundation. This strikes definitely against that particular narrative. So why was that happening, and why were you not aware?
First of all, this happened 8 years ago. Second of all, part of my answer was, if there were records at the foundation that demonstrated this, why in the weeks leading up to the resignations did nobody contact me? Madame Fournier was not at the foundation while these events happened. I was. But I had no idea what was going on at the foundation, and I would have... Well, that is your view, and I disagree with it. I was at the foundation rather than, deciding to... I don't know why they resigned. I think it would have been helpful if someone had called me and said, can you come in and talk about this? Because I think there is a very innocent set of explanations for everything that went on in relation to this donation.
All of those things.
Okay, so I got to move on.
Opposition leaders to take this matter seriously, not just to simply say, oh, there has to be a public inquiry. Okay, make suggestions about who could lead this public inquiry. What would the terms of reference be? What do they see as the timelines? How do they deal with the obvious challenge of respecting Canadian law that protects some of the most sensitive intelligence information? We've said all along that all options remain on the table. We think there should be a public process going forward, as Mr. Johnston recommended. So my hope is very quickly we can come to some consensus around those next steps. I think Canadians would benefit from that work.
But do you think that the opposition will take this seriously?
We have a number of reasons to see how they can choose to not take it seriously. Certainly Mr. Poilievre, who attacked Mr. Johnston, engaged in character assassination, partisan buffoonery. If he says this is a serious issue, this is the moment very quickly to come back to me and say, we think that these are two examples of the kind of people who could lead this. Is a chance to have input directly into that process and not simply stand up in question period and demand a public inquiry and not offer any...
And I would well imagine your response is going to be, well, I'm the president. I didn't see these statements, so I took it at face value that this was a Canadian donation, when in fact it's clearly spelt out, Mr. Rosenberg, that on July the 25th, this was an international donation, clearly stated in black and white, international donation credit to the credit of the foundation at the Bank of Montreal for $70,000. You're not aware of this particular banking statement, is that correct, sir?
Particular banking statement. I don't believe it was part of the package. And if I could just, answer, because there was an allegation about discrepancies between the name of the, on the tax receipt and the name that was put into the annual report. And I was basically accused of misleading Canadians in this regard. And I'd like to know what's the nature of the deception. You know, we acknowledged that two wealthy Chinese businessmen, instead of a corporate vehicle through which they made the payment, actually were instrumental in this. And I think we did this in a way that was more transparent than if we put the name of the Millennium Corporation into the report. The annual report is very forthright about the fact that there are Chinese donors behind the donation. And at the same...
Mr. Brock, I'm afraid that is your time. Mr. Rosenberg, I think we're going to pick this up again.
Been sucking up to big tech for the last 8 years. What they want to do is shut down debate. Mr. Speaker, Canadians want the freedom to express themselves without government control.